Well, I've never stayed at the YMCA, but I'm sure it is fun to stay there. I love that song. It's the one dance I know all the moves to. And welcome to our Sunday gathering. If we haven't met yet, I'm Sandra Champlain, lovingly referred to as hostess with the mostest. Each week, we do our very best to join the two worlds, to let you know you're never alone, to put a smile on your face, maybe a little step in your pace, some inspiration in your heart, and empower you for the week ahead. So I am joined by my good friends here today. We have Phil Dykes, woohoo! And we have our friends Kath and Mitch Shirley joining us, woohoo! Carrie and Darren are each taking a little family time today, but Carrie has actually planned our Sunday gathering. So our theme today is music from our lives. So during our time together, if you want to put in our chat box some of your favorite tunes that are memorable to you, please do. We can always use them in one of our future Sunday gatherings. We always need a little contribution. So I'll tell you a little bit about who is doing what today. The beautiful Kath will be doing our opening prayer and also our address. You'll have myself for the reading and the healing section. Mitch will be doing our medium demonstration today. Phil will be doing the words for the week and the closing prayer. And I will be the DJ, the disc jockey behind the scenes playing the great tunes as well. So a warm welcome to you wherever you are. Welcome to our very special family that's been meeting this time for, going on our fourth year now. So we're happy to be here. So I'd like to turn it over to Kath for our opening prayer, please. And Kath, you will need to unmute yourself.
Go. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everybody. Seamlessly done there.
And good whatever.
Hello. May I invite you to sit comfortably if you are able to do so as I lead you into the prayer. Divine and infinite Spirit, with every breath we share this world, may we always feel our connection to those who are suffering and all of those who share this world with us. May they find resilience in the memories of all they have faced before and in the power of the Spirit, their Spirit. Let us be thankful for all of our opportunities, and let us be generous in nature and thought and share all that we have. Let us be compassionate towards every living being. Let us be the light in a dark and gloomy room. Let us be who we are so that we bravely free ourselves from the shackles of hiding. For when we connect and blend with our soul and our conscious minds, then and only then can we be our true selves. Divine Spirit, we ask that our world receive the healing, the love and compassion from all here who send out all of those qualities. Let us be as one and generously give of ourselves in order that those in need will receive as we have in our lifetimes. Let us enjoy the time that we have together today, allowing those who are in need to blend and join in the compassion of all of humanity. Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Kath. All right, the reading for today by me. We all love music, but did you know there are some health benefits to music? Music is free therapy. If you turn it on, you can escape in a way that's healthy and powerful. Scientists have linked music with a reduction in stress and anxiety, such as one that reports that vibrations can enter the body and help calm patients. Singing a particular song helps revive parts of memory and therefore helps with memory. Music can help alter and improve moods, like me with the YMCA. It has been used in hospices, hospitals, as a prescription to some with depression and anxiety, as opposed to prescription drugs. Because it can go anywhere you want it to, music can also be transformative. When people are feeling down, they sometimes put on a piece of happy music or a happy song. Sometimes when people are struggling to get motivated, they put on songs and allow their melodies to carry them away. In 2014, a documentary film, Alive Inside, showed that people with devastating dementia came back to life when music was played from their teenage years. Here's a quick story from Janae. How has music personally impacted me? Well, I am a person who enjoys a great rhythm, but I love lyrics. Lyrics partnered with a decent melody lightens my mood and gives me inspiration. Since I write a lot of poetry and enjoy writing novels, music helps my work flow better. Additionally, I experience a lot of doubt as a writer. There are many days when I feel uninspired, like one time where I could not write at all. I tried for days on end, but to no avail. One day, I decided to stop forcing it and just turned on a great album from an artist that I loved. His visualization and ability to describe his heartbreak opened a door for me. Immediately, I took out a notebook and a pen. Everything poured out onto the page. Because of experiences like that, I feel that music is a great creative outlet that people can return to replenish their souls. I love music also because it's meant to be open and honest. When I'm absorbing the lyrics of a good song from any genre, I know that it's okay to be vulnerable too. Here is one more story about Cindy, who uses music to reach the unreachable and to teach the unteachable. As a music therapist, Cindy works in nursing homes and hospitals. As a band director and orchestra leader, she inspires students of all ages to develop their talents. As a volunteer, she works with special needs children, teens, and adults to make things happen that many thought impossible. She has written a book called The Starfish Theory, filled with dozens of stories of how lives have changed due to the power of music. Cindy has had the privilege to teach bands and orchestras in several elementary schools and has worked with children with varying abilities and personal challenges. At one school, she organized a bell choir for some troubled kids. One of the students learned the new instrument quickly and after a while wanted to learn to play the trombone. Cindy arranged for that with his parents, and a few months later, he performed a trombone solo at his first recital. It was a memorable moment for him and his family. But during the next lesson, his mom shared something with Cindy. She says this boy has never been able to read. But earlier that day at the grocery store, he picked up a little golden book and began to read it out loud. Despite multiple teachers and parents trying to work with him to read, he had always struggled. But what he was learning and developing, his passion for music, translated into other areas of his life, of his early education, and he finished the school year with the highest grades he had ever achieved. Cindy believes that for any challenge people face, there's a way music can help that person address it. For example, years ago, she was working in a rehabilitation facility as a music therapist. One of her patients had recently suffered from a stroke. She wanted to go home, but the doctor said that until she could walk at a steady pace, he couldn't discharge her. Together, Cindy and her patient came up with a plan, and the next morning, Cindy played Glenn Miller's Chattanooga Choo Choo on a boombox, and she walked to the rhythm down the hall. And after doing this several times and over several days, she was able to return home with the mobility she needed. Music is powerful enough to help the young and the old and make a difference in their lives. So thank you for listening to the reading. Now we're going to move into our healing segment, and I picked the song today. It is Josh Groban's You Are Loved. Why it's important for me is after my dad died 13 years ago, I went through one of the darkest times ever in my life. Not just my dad departing this earth, but we were one of those families that fought. So I had real stress and anxiety and fights and depression and all of that around my siblings as well. I experienced a lot of loss. This is the song that kept me going, reminding me that Dad was still alive in the unseen world around me and that I was loved. So as we move into the healing, let's just radiate that love towards others and to yourself. Visualize those in need of healing, being healthy, whole, and well. We do have power, we really do, to transform and help transform situations. Not everything is out of our control. We offer this time lovingly with this song, and I know those in the unseen world will take our energy and send it to where it is needed. And anytime we say, use us, I know that there's that ripple effect, that what we get out, we put back in. So if I can, if you'd like to close your eyes, you may. If you want to watch the video, you may. But really listen to the beautiful words from Josh Groban. And remember, my friends, you are loved. And now over to Kath for our address.
Thank you, Sandra. And thank you for the music so far. I've thoroughly enjoyed all of it. Can you imagine a world without music? What would the world be like if we never had any music at all? It would be very quiet, and I think quite dull as well. It would be a dull world if we didn't have music. Every single event that happens in our world, whether it's a sporting event or going to the theatre, I can't imagine no music at the theatre, or the cinema, pageantry that we saw recently in this country. Our birthday is celebrated with a very famous song that everybody knows. If we get married or we celebrate anything, there's music. So music really does have a huge impact on every person's life. And I've never met anybody who says, I don't like music. I don't know about you, but I've never met anybody. I don't know of anybody who doesn't like music, or if in fact they've listened to music and felt really depressed or negative about themselves or the situation. I know we can have sad songs, and I know we can be consoled by music, but music really does uplift us, as Sandra said. And the very first music was hymns, actually. There is the first recordings, I don't mean as in, music, but the earliest documentation. And it's a hymn, and it was written by a gentleman who lost his wife. And in this hymn, he wrote the words about how he loved her, and how can we not live when we've known such love. And that's one of the earliest hymns that was ever written. So I thought, wow, that is absolutely amazing. And you know, when we have babies, we sing nursery rhymes to babies. We sing lullabies to babies. Maybe if you've got a good voice, that will help a baby to sleep. I can't say that would work for me, but I don't have that kind of a singing voice. But music plays a part in the lives of children. And many, many years ago, when our youngest went to what we would call a special school, so it's a provision that has children go there who have disabilities. And she went to this special school and they had conductive education. So conductive education came from the Hungarian professor Andras Peto, and he devised this course of education, and it follows a pattern, and there is a pattern to it, and part of it is to use language and music and rhythm. And when we all sort of sat together, children and parents, teaching our children, we sang a song with instructions to it, and there was movement, and so there was a rhythm to it. So what we were trying to do in this case, I was trying to get Georgia to use her left hand, which wasn't natural because that side doesn't work as well as the right side. So trying to get her to use it and brush the dolly's hair. And we sang "This is the way we brush her hair" with each stroke, and repeated and repeated and repeated. And over the months that we went to this school for parents, and she was under this conductive education, she learned to brush her dolly's hair with her left hand, and one little boy learned to walk while we were there, and other children learned to sing and talk and say mummy for the first time. And all these tiny little milestones, which were actually huge milestones in the life of a child whose prognosis was not great. So all these children are beginning to learn. And even now, and she's 29, she can remember this is the way we brush our hair. So when we talk about the music of our lives, or, you know, the tune, the life tune of our lifetime, I don't know what yours are, and I don't know what they mean to you, but I can guarantee that they will all mean something. You will all have a memory associated with a piece of music. And we all have the same kind of memories associated with certain pieces of music. So in England, we've got God Save the King, which of course for many years was God Save the Queen, and it's been tricky to relearn it. We all have Happy Birthday, don't we? We all have Here Comes the Bride. We all know these certain songs. We all know that a certain Queen song, Bohemian Rhapsody, is associated with a very famous film. And we all know that when we're messing about, we can all do a little bit of headbanging to that song. And we all know it. We instinctively know it. We don't need to be taught about it. It's natural. So when we move, when we dance, when we sing together, these are all social interactions, and these are things that can only be good for each and every one of us. And it got me thinking about the fact that, you know, certain music can move us in a way that no other can, as Sandra said about that piece of music that we've just heard. For me, one of the pieces of music is Minnie Riperton, and that was a piece of music that meant something to me when I met Mitch, who is now sitting over there. But when he came to collect me and Kate, our firstborn, from the hospital, we got into the car, and he played it. We started to drive away from the maternity hospital, and he played it. Now, for anyone who has had a baby, you all know that you kind of hormonal in a way that is absolutely unbelievable when you've had a baby, and there is no control over these hormones, and the tears flowed. I think I cried all the way home, and Mitch said, "Oh my God, what have I done?" But it was all good. It was, because the words "loving you is easy because you're beautiful," whilst I'm sitting next to our newborn and Mitch is driving, was a hugely emotional time, highly charged in many ways. And the excitement that you feel, when you're allowed home, and you kind of think, "Oh, am I adult enough for this? Am I responsible enough for this?" You got this baby and you're charged with their lives, and everything that you do for them is all around them. Your life changes hugely. It's a massive change in your life. And, music, I feel, is a part of our lives for always. And we will always change with the music that we hear. And as we get older, I also like to think that what we listen to and what we are emotionally charged by changes with us, how we change through life, and the music that we listen to. Oh yes, I can still put David Bowie on and go straight back to those years of being, and I absolutely adored David Bowie. Nobody wrote music or could sing like him. He was a very, very special man. And then, if I say to you, Meatloaf, who didn't have Bat Out of Hell, and who hasn't sat with those songs and gone, "Oh yes, that takes me back to my youth," or maybe you've just found it. But I would like to ask you, in all of your life, and now we're up to this point in time, so we are the 23rd of July 2023, whose tune do you sing to? Who in your life moves you? Are you dancing or singing to your own tune, or are you still very, very involved with something that moves you? And I spoke to someone today, a good friend of ours, and she said to me, "When I was involved, it was everything to me. It was my life. It motivated me. I would do anything for anybody when I was involved in this particular thing. And now that I've stepped back, I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. I don't miss having to do things for other people. I don't miss forever being at somebody's beck and call. I really don't miss that. I am really enjoying the freedom that dancing to my own tune is bringing me." And I guess there are many occasions in life when we decide, no, stop. And there's many songs that begin with that as well, isn't there? Stop. There's one from the Spice Girls, "Stop Right There." And of course there's Diana Ross. But when we stop and think about, who are we living this life for? What are we running around? And I don't know if this is necessarily something that you would hear in the US or elsewhere, but why am I running around like a headless chicken after everybody else when my life needs attention too? Why am I doing all these things? And we get kind of sucked into things, don't we? And we start by offering our help, offering our assistance. I'll do this, I'll do that. And before you know where you are, we haven't got time for ourselves. We haven't got time for the things that we love doing. And those people who are relying on us rely even more on us. So it becomes a life that's quite out of balance in many ways, isn't it? And that, I'm sure many people go, flipping heck. That's really British, I know. Flipping heck. What am I doing with my life? And you know, when COVID came and stopped us all from doing the things we loved, some people were paralyzed by the thought that life couldn't continue anymore in the form that it had, in the way that it had, in the things that we'd been doing. My mum calls it COVID. Even to this day, she calls it COVID. We couldn't do what we'd always done. But you know, if we always do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. So change is good, but equally, it's so good to be able to say no. It is one word and it is a full and complete sentence. No. You are not required to fill in the gaps for other people who want a little piece of you, unless, of course, you feel you wish to. We have one shot at this life. We have this journey given to us. And when we connect with our purpose in life, who we are, what we're supposed to be doing, what dance we're supposed to be doing, whether it's tap dance, ballet dance, jive, slow dance, whatever it is. Which reminds me, I've never seen Mr. Dykes dance, so I have to ask Kerry if he's any good at it. Mitch is very good at slow dancing, I have to say. But you know, in this life, when we move with our soul and we awaken who we are supposed to be and blend that, you see, what we do is we know what it is we're doing, what we want to be doing. And then our silly conscious mind butts in and says, but what about Mary? You're supposed to be taking her shopping today. Oh, and what about this person? You're supposed to be taking them to church today. And you did promise to go to the shops and pick this up. And you have said that you'll do this. And before you know where you are brought straight back down to earth with a bump. And you're doing everything for everybody else. And you stop those ideas and those dreams and those ambitions that you had. Say, for instance, you've always dreamed of being able to tap dance and you've never had that opportunity. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now you don't even have to go to class. You can do it in the comfort of your own home if you know how to get on the internet. And you can do it in the privacy. Nobody's got to look at you. But flipping heck, you can enjoy yourself while you're having a go. You can enjoy whatever it is. You don't have to go out to do it if that's a difficulty for you. It is better if you do it with friends. And I remember thinking, it's a few years ago, my next door neighbour said, do you fancy coming to yoga? Oh, I said, yes, yeah, okay, yes. So we went to yoga and we were the naughty girls in the class. And I don't know if you've ever been to yoga, but there are times when you are in positions that you hear noises that you don't know where they're coming from, frankly. And I looked at my next door neighbour and she looked at me and we could not stop laughing. It wasn't either of us, I have to say. But she couldn't stand up after we'd finished doing a particular move. I don't know what it was. And I couldn't get up for laughing at her. We never went back. But do you know, we had such good fun for 2 hours. And it was a revelation to both of us that neither of us should ever, ever, ever have that thought again of going to yoga, because it's not for us. But we tried it. We had fun while we tried it. And we realized that our bodies just will not go in those positions anymore. We are not 12 and we don't have the flexibility. So accept it. However, If that's your dream and you want to do something, I would ask you from this day forward that you blend with your soul and you allow your soul to express who it is, who you really are. That might say, sometimes you need to say to people, no. That might mean that sometimes you might say to people, I can't, because I'm doing this for me. And that is never, ever selfish. It's being selfless. Because in this life, we need to serve ourselves. We need to feed ourselves. All of the goodness that's within this world, all of the compassion that we offer everybody else, we need to give it to ourselves. We need to give ourselves the biggest hug, the largest amount of love that we could ever offer anyone else, and say, I love myself and I am a good person. And from this day forward, I'm going to treat myself like I treat everybody else. And actually, I come first, because if I don't come first, how on earth, in reality, can we serve anybody else? Thank you.
Just wonderful, Kath. Well, she can't hear our round of applause, but if you guys want to press your raise hand button as a thank you to Kath, I think those words really hit all of us. Beautifully said, and in a way that only you can tell, with a smile that I think you've put on everybody's face and a little laughter in our hearts. So thank you, Kath. The raise hand buttons are all up. So thank you so much. Always delightful. Well, we have Kath's husband, Mitch, up next as our medium for our medium demonstration. There are many newcomers to our Sunday gathering, and we always welcome everybody. So just to let everyone know how this part goes, it's a wonderful opportunity just to witness how close our loved ones are in this invisible space around us. I know for over 25 years, I've been looking and receiving evidence of the afterlife and sharing it on now well over 500 podcast episodes. And it is just such a privilege and delight to be able to share this portion of our Sunday gathering. When we expire from this life, put it that way, and migrate to the unseen world, I love the word hereafter. It's not somewhere far away. We get to witness through our medium demonstrations every week just how close they are. I do believe that when we move on to the hereafter, there's still work to be done and adventures to be had and experiences and learning to be done. But we get to witness that our loved ones are only a breath away. They can just pop back and forth. So often they are here with us and cheering us on and witnessing parts of our lives. And that's why we include in our Sunday gathering the demonstration of evidential mediumship. Not everyone here, of course, gets a reading, but a handful of people, or depending on what the spirit world wants to do today, because it is in their command, we'll hear words through Mitch from loved ones. And even though you may not personally get a reading, it's an opportunity to just feel that love and feel how close they are. And, you know, there's this little secret trick that I do is I really pay attention to these messages, because I think many of them are for all of us. Just like Kath spoke to 100 and some odd here live in our Sunday gathering today, the spirit world knows exactly who's with us today, and they know what's going to land in our hearts. When Mitch comes to do the demonstration of mediumship, you'll hear some initial words about the person who has connected with him. Now, when we do transition to the unseen world, we are still people. I think that ego mind is gone, but that sense of humor, all our loves, that continues. We're still us. We're our healthiest selves. We're in a body we love. We're at the age we love, etc. So when they connect with him, they'll be putting pictures, images, feelings, who knows, maybe even music in his mind. who knows how they'll work. So you'll hear Mitch give a few initial bits of information about this person. Spirit World does know who is in our audience today. Even though you think you may be sitting on a park bench somewhere and nobody knows you're there, oh yes, Spirit World knows you're there. If you can understand all the information that Mitch gives as a person you know that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press that raise hand button. And if you didn't quite find it a little bit earlier, to give Kath her standing ovation, if you want to press your raise hand button and just see how that works on your side, you can. It'll say raise hand, and then your hand will be raised, and then it'll say lower hand, and you can press it again to lower your hand. Why this is important is sometimes there's more than one person that can understand the information, and Mitch will work to get it down to one person who can receive all of the information. So you may need to press your lower hand button at that point. But really, if you can understand this information, press your raise hand button. Don't ever feel embarrassed. Don't ever feel like, oh, this is going to be for somebody else. You'll know in your heart, like, this makes sense to me. And you are amongst friends here. You do not have to go on camera, but we'd like to hear your voice. So if you are somebody who works with Mitch today, I will press a button on my side. You'll get something that pops up that host would like you to unmute, and there'll be a little button that appears that'll let you do that. When you work with Mitch or any one of our evidential mediums on a Sunday gathering, or even elsewhere, we do recommend you only say yes, no, or I don't know to the information that they give. Because so often, I know we want to share, we want to tell all about our loved one, but that's called feeding the medium. We want to know that our loved ones are coming through. So to get the best communication possible and the best Sunday gathering ever, just say yes, no, or I don't know if you are somebody that works with Mitch or another medium down the road. We want to know that they are in communication with our loved one. So yes, no, or I don't know. I think that's it. We always like to play a joyful piece of music before our medium demonstration. For me, and maybe you'd like to adopt this too, it's just my time to imagine maybe my dad, my grandmother, other loved ones in the space around me, maybe even some alive people that can't be joining me here, but have a little party in the room. Kath has picked our song. I believe it was the first album you bought when you were 10 years old. It is a Barry White tune. And let's find Barry, and then when we are back, we will have Mitch. Man, it's like a concert today. Woohoo! Welcome, Mitch, or welcome back, Mitch. We're so happy you're here.
Thank you. Ah, dear. Yes, wonderful song. That's why I didn't suggest any of mine, because when I go back a bit, a little bit more forward from that, and mine are mainly like punk. I thought we don't really want the Sex Pistols and things like that coming out, so I don't think it would be in keeping with the gathering. But yes, Barry White, yes, lovely. Right, I am aware of a gentleman, and I do feel that this gentleman, before he left this earth, and I feel that he left before he considered a reasonable time, because that's why I'm choosing the words and how it's being expressed with that emotion. It does feel to me like it's Dad that is communicating, but I do feel, I'm not one for normally giving ages, but I feel as though he behaved like somebody younger and was always had that childlike quality. But I also feel this gentleman would have suffered an injury, and in particular, I feel as though it's my left arm, and I feel as though it's around the elbow region. As I'm aware of it, because that's something that's actually really aggravating me at this moment in time, and that's what I do. I do feel as though it's Dad. I feel as though he didn't reach a great age, but he was always younger than his age, physical age, and always had that childlike quality. And in particular, when Kath was talking about the yoga, that's something that he would have found immensely funny. And we all know that with British people in particular, when that noise or a noise similar to that happens, that's it. It doesn't matter what they're saying, the laughter flows. So I know that that is his sense of humor that I want to get across as well.
Thank you very much. Friends, this is your time. If you can understand that information about Dad in the spirit world, and you said his left elbow too.
Yeah,
He's
it's
an injury.
something around that area where there is a significant injury around that area.
Okay, thank you. Who can understand this information? Please press your raise hand button. Here we go. Carly has her hand raised. And Carly, if you could press your unmute button. Oh, we also have Janet with her hand raised. I spoke too soon, Mitch. You have 2.
Right. I am aware of, and just as I was finishing off that initial part of the information that I got to give, I was aware of the name of David that would link with him. I'm not saying it's his name, but it's a name that would link with him. And I feel as though this is, it's either a very, very close friend, or this would be either a brother or brother-in-law, something like that, that sort of connection.
All right, well, Janet still has her hand raised with all that information. Janet, if you could press your unmute button.
Hi, Sandra. How are you?
Great. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Sandra.
Everything sounds right, except it's not my dad, it's my fiance.
Right. Okay. Then would you understand, you've expressed that, then would you understand there would have been an age difference between the two of you?
Well, he was like 10 years older than I was.
Okay. Because I just felt as though I got this very, and you would understand with a very protective nature.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Yes.
not just with you, because I want to, it's like the fact of some people are physically our dads, but don't behave in that way. But he would have rejoiced in the way of being a dad and being fatherly to people.
Yes, and he had grandchildren that he used to get down and play their games.
Okay.
And
no, that's fine. We said yes, no, and I don't know. Please, I'm fat enough. I don't need any more feeding. So I'm aware of this childlike quality that was kept. I know you said about that, but I'd said that at the first part, this childlike quality. And I know that I didn't look my age as well. Would you understand that?
yes.
Okay, because it's also the fact of, for him, it was important to look at himself and to recognize things that he got wrong and try to make them right. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Because I know that it's important about, it's not self-criticism, it's just natural reflection on myself and not look to outside for a cause, something to blame. You understand that?
Yes.
And I'm also aware here that he was not a bleeding heart.
No.
Believe that in that, you know, God helps those who help themselves, but also recognize that there are people who sometimes cannot be helped because of the weight of things that have affected them through no fault of their own.
I can see that. Yes.
Because it's important that I bring that, because I'm aware that there are certain aspects that fit with you, but also would also fit around you with other people who you know who are in need of help, but others have either stepped away or are not really helping them. And in particular, I know this is someone who has recently lost a significant loved one.
He lost a significant loved one, or I lost?
Around you.
Yes.
you understand somebody who's recently lost within your circle of
Yes.
family and friends, because I know that this grief and this loss, but these people have not just experienced that, they've done also the fact of people don't know what to say, don't know how to be, and are stepping away.
Definitely. He passed 2 weeks
Right,
after
no,
my.
no, please, no more.
Okay.
I'll be shutting the door in a minute. I know that I have to get this feeling across, and it's important that I express my feelings and through my feelings to you. So you would have, the last song is perfect in the way that you are my first, my last, my everything. You knew that,
Yeah.
you understood that. But you were also aware of the fact that there were times when he needed to do things and be there for other people.
Yes.
And I have to say to you, you know that you need to do, and it's part of that address, you need to do things for you so that you can keep your sanity to be around others. You understand that, Janice?
Yes. Yes,
Because
I do.
it's important that I bring that aspect forward, because that's how he wants to explain it. Okay, and I know I have a man who enjoyed explaining things to the point of, even if he knew people were going to fall asleep out of boredom, he would still explain it.
So right. Yes.
Yeah, because that's what he wants to get across. It's my way of doing it, and I'm happy with it. And it's important that you be happy with doing things your way, not trying to fit into those little pigeonholes that other people have, and those little bricks in that wall that other people have put there for you. Okay?
You got me. Yes.
And it's important that you know that, because okay, I do believe that he was quite a dangerous man to himself at times, because, and he's bringing up an aspect of myself, because he just said, because your bum wouldn't fit in.
Yes,
right?
that's how he caused his injury.
But I know that that's his sense of humor, but
Yes.
well, your bum wouldn't fit in there, so that, there's no point trying. And
Yes.
sometimes there are things that we need to, as Kath also said as well, he's just brought it back, that no is a full sentence, and we might as well do it at the beginning as go through a load of hassle, a load of trouble, and do it later.
You got it.
I understand there's something around you at this moment in time that you have to make a decision. You know what it is, then make it, live with it, and move forward.
That's great. Your reading is marvelous.
That's the important thing, to move forward. All right, so thank you very much for speaking.
Thank you very much.
And I will thank him and ask him to politely to leave, because now that he doesn't want to go. Okay, and that's another thing. He would like to be the last person out the door if he ever went anywhere. There's a party going on. He was the last. He's like, you having to drag him out. Okay, and that's how he is at this moment in time. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Mitch.
Right. Okay. I am aware of a lady here, and it does feel to me as though I have mum, as I am aware of her. And now I'm really, we said about this thing about not letting the conscious mind affect everything, and now I'm quite concerned. I'm going to go with the first piece of information that I had, okay? And what I was first aware of, where mum is concerned, I feel that her favourite Christmas song was White Christmas by Bing Crosby. And strangely enough, there's also a connection to Friends, as in the series of Friends, and Chandler Bing. So I feel as though the surname of Bing would actually in some way either be connected to mum or to the recipient, that they know or have a friend or connection with the name of Bing.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Okay, friends, who understands this information? Go ahead and press your raise hand button, please. I feel lots of people thinking right now. No hands raised just yet.
And it's that collection of people coming together, as in the end of White Christmas, when they all come together and all these moving parts collectively come together. And I feel as though a quality that mum would have had with that, she would have been a great organizer and somebody who loved to pull people together, but didn't want to be the focus, but would be happy being on the front line, but not being the focus. Friends won't go away as well. There's a connection. There's either it's a favorite program, or there's the love and the thing of, again, it's Chandler Bing.
It's a female. Somebody just asked.
I feel as though it's mum, and I feel as though it's mum, and this love favorite Christmas song would be White Christmas.
White Christmas, and then you keep getting the TV program Friends. Okay. Okay, Anna, you have your hand raised. Let's talk to Anna. And thank you, everybody, for thinking and your patience. Hi, Anna.
Hi, I'm not
Welcome.
totally sure, but I can take some of it.
Okay, what do you understand that mom in the spirit world?
Not a mom, but a mom-like figure and another relation.
But you understand this with White Christmas?
Yes, and friends.
And in particular, do you understand the name of Bing as well?
That one I cannot take. That I can think of.
No, it's not right.
You just stay where you are. Alina also has
I've got to be honest, the feeling that I get is it is mum that is the most important. The relationship. I know I accepted that slight change before, but I'm aware mum is the important relationship.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, stay where you are, though, Anna. Alina, you also have your hand raised. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So do you understand this information where mum is concerned?
Yes.
Okay, so particularly the song, and do you also understand the aspects of her personality as well?
Kind of, and the song in a different way, but friends and Bing, yes.
Right, okay. Let me just work with this. But do you understand the surname of, or the name of Bing as well, connecting?
Yes, to me.
Right, okay, that's fine. Because I knew that I got to collectively put everything together. But would you understand with your mum that she was someone who was a quietly determined lady?
Yes.
And I know, right, it's one way of showing it, but she's just showing me like a dog with a bone. That once I've got my teeth into you, and I know that I need to have words with you. I'm going to have words with you, and there's no stopping that. Do you understand that with her? That part of her personality?
Yes.
Okay, because I know that I said about this quiet determination, and I know that I am someone who can express and does not need to do everything in a fixed order. I can be flexible. But she liked to, where big things were concerned or where things were for other people, she liked to be organized and do things in a familiar pattern. Do you understand that?
Yes. Yes.
Because that's important, that the pattern of how you live your life is important, and the fact of that it is what resonates with you as a person. And you would understand at this moment in time where you're concerned, your pattern of life is not to your rhythm.
Kind of.
Right. And the fact that you said kind of that, I've got to say that the way you would normally do things, you're not able to, but it's not necessarily because it's out of your control.
True.
Right. Okay. Because I know that I've got to, she's very clear when she needs to be. She's not giving lots of information away because that was your mum. If it's personal and it's private within the family, then that's where it stays. But I'm aware here that she enjoyed hearing information from people. Some might call it gossip, but your mum would not. She was hearing information about other people and about other things, but she wasn't one for actually giving information about her own private family.
Yes.
Okay, because she was very diplomatic how she put that about hearing things and that. But again, there's a dryness as well with your mum, that she would observe so much with people and trust as well her own instincts. And she would trust those instincts above what everybody else had seen.
Yes.
And this is what she's getting across where you're concerned, Aline.
Okay.
Trust your instincts. She's not opening it up because she doesn't need to. But there are things that you need to sort out, but do them one at a time.
Okay.
Stop trying to fix everything all in one go.
All right.
Okay? Because there's too many moving parts. And I'm aware here, what she's just showing me was like jars, like jam jars with the lids on, that they can be on the shelf. They're there to be sorted, but it's better to take one, to sort one out, and then put the lid on it, and then it's done. And then to take another, and then to deal with that. And then eventually everything has been sorted. Because I feel that this last 18 months to 2 years, the way everything has been, your jars to be sorted has got further and further along the shelf compared to things that have not, or no longer need to be sorted. Do you understand this?
Yes.
And this is why she's coming through, because I'm aware of the fact that she is aware of your frustration. She is aware of your tears, and she wants to remind you to find the joy in your life and to follow your dreams.
Yeah. Thank you.
Understand that. It's very, very important for her that dreams are important, because it allows our spirits and soul to expand as we follow them, but we need to commit to them. And so that's where the choice comes. But in taking things one at a time, you will be able to resolve things. All right, so thank you very much for speaking
Yes.
to me.
Thank you very much. Great.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you, Mitch.
Okay. I feel as though I have a gentleman with me, and it feels to me like it's his brother, as I am aware of him. And I feel as though, as I'm working with him and what I'm seeing and what I'm being made aware of, there is a connection, and I feel as though it was with him, with restaurants, and because that I keep seeing a waiter I'm not saying that's what he did, that was his role, but I'm seeing the white shirt, the black trousers. But I feel as though this is a connection with brother in the spirit world.
Brother in the spirit world, and you're seeing
Connection with restaurants.
correct. Okay, connection with restaurants. Okay.
That's what I was just seeing.
Okay. Okay, friends, if you can understand that information, if you go ahead and press your raise hand button. If your soul's giving you that nudge. No hands raised yet, Mitch.
Right. The image, as I was aware of it, I felt as though it was to do with Greek restaurants. And I was aware of when we were talking about the songs and the dancing and the white table or tea cloths being waved around. If that person, the brother, didn't work there, there's some memory that's connected with being in the same place, because this memory or this connection with the restaurant. I don't know whether it's friends that were connected who own the restaurants, but there's a strong connection with this memory and brother.
All right, thank you very much. Does this make sense to someone? Who does this make sense to someone? Greek restaurant, celebration perhaps?
And
Okay, we just heard from Janet, but she has her hand up. Same with Sophia, so we can bring them both in.
Let me speak to Sophia first, because obviously
Okay.
I spoke to Janet and I did feel as though there was a separation for this.
All right, Sophia, I accidentally pressed your mute button, so if you could press your unmute button again. Hi, Sophia.
Hi, I'm back. Hi.
Hi. So do you understand that some or all of this information?
Some. It would not be a brother, but I
Right.
do understand the restaurant connections and the Greek connections.
So you don't have a brother in the spirit world?
Nope.
Sorry?
No, I do not.
Right. Do you have a brother-in-law in the spirit world?
No, not that I know of.
Okay. I was just going to say, have you got lots of sisters and they've married and divorced? We don't know if any of them.
Of course, duh. I do have do have a brother-in-law, but he's not connected with this Greek group.
Okay, but you understand brother-in-law, okay? Because it was just just as I was just getting this information, I just felt as though there was not, we were not connected in the way that we could have been. Okay, over longer.
We have one more with their hand raised as well.
Right.
So
okay.
you know.
But do you understand this with the restaurants, in particular Greek restaurants?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Your brother-in-law, would you understand that he had we say warped, a strange sense of humor?
Yeah.
Okay, because it was just the way that as I was working, he was like laughing and literally could find humor in very, very dark places.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. But I'm aware here that his way of getting to a point would not necessarily be ABC.
I think that's correct.
Okay. Because just as I'm working with him, it's like as though he'll give you information. He gave people stuff, but then he steps back, and I feel as though there's a sense of like I like to tease things out of people, and I like to tease people and make fun of people.
I don't know about teasing and making fun of people. I do understand the trying to tease things out of people.
Right, okay. Because it's, as I'm trying to work with him, and obviously he started to give me information at the first time, it was very vivid, the imagery that I was aware of. But now I feel as though now I just want to step back, and it's like as though I then like to really decide, and I feel I know as you said it instantly, it wasn't there, but I'm aware of this. It's like a distance within the connection, and I feel that this is not just there are other members within your family at this moment in time who you are not feeling that close connection with, and it's something that you've recently been having discussions about.
Yes, there are people that I'm not having that close connection with within the family.
Right, okay, because that's the relevance of why you have this communicator,
Okay.
because there's an understanding of that wanting to connect but not necessarily being able to because of either their personalities but also within yours as well. I am aware of a physical distance as well, not just across town, but I'm aware that this disconnection and this need within you to actually reconnect and get closer to people who have been part of
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and I'm aware that that's why he's the one who's come to bring forward, because he experienced the same thing, not just necessarily within your family, but within his own blood relatives as well. Okay,
Yes.
there's this understanding of what's going on and the difficulties, and what I am aware of is something that I, from a personal point of view, and this is what I've just been pushed to the forefront of my awareness, was a decision that I made right at the start of COVID to offer an olive branch, but being prepared to accept that it might not be received and welcomed. Okay?
Yes.
And in
Yes.
going in that frame of mind that I am prepared, I am open, but I am also okay if it doesn't. And this is
Yes.
what's making me aware of it. And it's always very difficult, and it may be the fact that, well, I've done it time and time again. But it's about, I just want to give you some peace of mind, because it is something that has troubled you and has stopped you actually moving forward, because it's nagging away at you.
Yes. You're so correct.
Right, that's fine. Because I know, as I said earlier about the dog chewing the bone, I'm aware of a dog chewing your trouser leg, and it could, it's like, get off. I just want to get rid of that. So as I'm done with it, and I've done everything, and I've offered everything, and
Yes.
in a way that you are comfortable with. That's the
Yes.
important thing here. What you are comfortable with, not what works for everybody else. That doesn't matter. It's very much you, and then you moving forward in your life, and doing, again, we're back to this, with the address where that resonated with you, with those aspects. But I just want to bring that forward with him. It was very strong in his personality about doing things in my own way, but also doing them in my own time.
Yes.
So you haven't got to go off, get on the phone, or drive around somebody's house. You do things when you're ready and when it feels
Yes.
right to you, and listen to your soul.
Wow. Thank you. This is important to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Oh, thank you, Sophia. And Mitch, thank you so much for being our medium today.
Okay.
We appreciate it. I'm hostess with the mostest, keeping an eye on everything back here. Oh no, we really appreciate Kath and Mitch both volunteering their time. And friends, I want to invite you to something with Kath and Mitch. Whatever time it is right now in your time zone, 10 minutes from now, Kath and Mitch offer a free grief cafe. It's 90 minutes. It is not recorded. They are both advanced grief recovery specialists. They know a lot about this world. And I know from what I shared with you earlier and just in our demonstration now, grief does not just happen when someone passes. It can happen, breakups in families. I heard some staggering results that 1 in 3 people don't have a relationship with someone in their family, whether it's due to a loss or whatever. And so grief is very prevalent in a lot of our lives. It's one thing when someone passes, somehow we make peace with that, but when people are alive, it's very difficult as well. So we invite any of you, if you're interested. Of course, we love Kath and Mitch. It's absolutely free. It's a private space to learn about grief and being loving hands. So it starts on Tuesday, whatever time it is, your time zone, 10 minutes from now. Our home base is wedon'tdie.com. Everything coming up is on our store page. So you can register for next week's Sunday gathering. We've got a guest doing the address, an old friend of mine who I've reunited with just recently. His name is Greg Hartman. He's spectacular. Also, some other good things coming up on Friday. You can be with Scott Milligan and myself for In the Arms of Eternity, where we sit for healing, with also a demonstration of a trance mediumship. Our tutors are hitting the road. So Carrie and Phil, they'll be in England, they'll be in Ontario, Canada next month, and later on in the year, they'll be in New Jersey in the USA. Also, Scott will be in the Netherlands, he'll be in New Orleans, Louisiana. Again, you can find out about that at wedon'tdie.com on the store page. It's never too late to join one of our online classes, as I know many of us cannot travel these days. You can join a medium class currently in session, or you could join for our upcoming August or September, October classes. Again, everything is on wedon'tdie.com, that store page. And on the 13th of August, just after our Sunday gathering, we are going to have the researcher Sonia Rinaldi from Brazil, who is going to be doing a special lecture presentation for us about her latest discoveries, her latest images and audios that she receives from the afterlife. Pretty spectacular that she gets pictures of people as they lived, even though those pictures have not been supplied to her, showing that our loved ones live on. So that is a special event that will start about 20 minutes after our August 13th Sunday gathering ends. Okay, so wedon'tdie.com, store page. And last, for all of you who have contributed and donated to our Sunday gathering, every little bit helps. So we appreciate it. We thank you. If you feel you ever want to throw $1 or £1 our way, or €1, just at that wedon'tdie.com site, there's a page that says Sunday Gathering. You can find the donate button, and you can also find past replays and also register for upcoming Sunday gatherings. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to a man who can dance. I've seen it, Phil Dykes.
Yes, John Travolta, eat your heart out. I can dance. There you go, Kath. I'll let you see it one day. We'll let you see the awe and wonder of it. But before I do that, I would like to say a huge thank you to Sandra, to Kath and Mitch for being here today on the Sunday gathering, because I know it was very important for Kerry to choose a theme that really inspires her, because she wanted to pick something that everyone would enjoy and relate to. Because sometimes in life, things happen, and it's through music, through songs, that we remember things. We remember people. We remember moments, such as Kath's yoga incident and other things. But actually, do you remember the song that you hear and it never fails to lift you? It never fails to put a smile on your face and put a groove in your shoes, as they say over here. But also that song that never fails to touch those heartstrings when there might be sorrow or heartbreak, that one that brings tears, but tears of joy, tears of upliftment, tears of strength, of how we've come through some marvelous things in life that have taken great bravery and strength. But think about those songs for a moment, and what is it about them? Is it the sound of the music? Or is it the words? Whichever it is, enjoy them. treasure them, because they are like memories deep within our souls. Those memories can be evoked at any time, and it's those songs that can touch our emotions, our physicality, and our mental thoughts. Because as we travel through life, music doesn't just uplift us, it connects people. It connects people at a soul level. Sandra mentioned about going to concerts. So think about it for a moment. When the singer stops and the crowd carries on, singing their words, swaying together, it forms a bond, it unites us all. It creates something within us, and that something is goodness, is kindness, togetherness, building us into a community, just like here today on this Sunday gathering, the sacred place that happens at the start or the end of the week, whichever you choose it to be. But it's a place that we come to join together in that harmony. So I doubt, or should I say, I don't doubt, that there would be songs that you've heard today that have struck a chord with you, that have brought many memories. But over the course of these 4 years together, there's been many, many songs that have inspired you, that have brought memories, maybe of your infancy, of your youth, of your adult life together, when you started a family, as Kath and Mitch talked about, or whether it's a moment of sadness where you felt alone, but in that moment a song touched your soul and uplifted you and brought you to reality that you are special, that you are inspired by a great divine source, a source of love. Music today is a gift. And I'm not talking here about mediumship and how it can be inspired and how we blend with that unique and divine world. But artists such as singers, musicians, doctors and nurses are in touch with that same world and being inspired. So it's no wonder that these songs, these words, the sounds that they evoke within us stir our emotions. And it's here today where you've celebrated it. And I know from Kerry's heart and my heart, we'd like to say thank you for joining us, because it's so special. And I say this because I know there's probably an emotional song coming right at the end, and I can see Sandra smiling. My heart is already beating and pounding. And I do believe, if I caught it correctly, there was some photographs sent as well. So I'm not quite sure exactly what's about to happen. But I know within my own life, there's been many songs, and I've got a feeling one of the songs is coming up that's very special to myself and Kerry. A moment that we shared where we united, that when we hear it, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, we stop, we gaze at each other with gratefulness, with kindness, but most of all, love. And that is something that we will never, ever forget. Wherever we are in the world, together or apart, that one song always unites us. So I know, ladies and gentlemen, there's always a song that you have dear in your hearts, whether your loved ones are still here or whether they're in the spirit world. We know that their hearts feel it too. And that's that thought I want to leave you with, knowing that your loved ones are only a thought away. Thank you for listening. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is my divine and great pleasure to close the service today in what we call prayer. If you can bow your heads and go into that divine silence and join me within those thoughts, within those songs, and within your feelings as we join together. Gracious Spirit, as we come to the close of this sacred gathering, we bow our heads in gratitude and reverence for the love and guidance you bestow upon us. We come here as a united community, bound together by our shared faith and the togetherness that emanates from your divine presence. In this sacred place, we have felt the warmth of your love, enveloping us, nurturing our spirits, and filling our hearts with joy. As we depart from this sanctuary, we may carry this love within us, spreading it like a beacon of light to all we encounter on our paths. We thank you for the gift of community, for the souls gathered here, each unite and cherished within your love. Together we find strength and support, knowing that we are never alone in our journey. Through life, may we always be a source of comfort and encouragement to one another, holding hands in times of sorrow and dancing with joy in times of celebration. As we step out into this world, may we be reminded of the importance of togetherness. Help us build bridges of understanding, compassion, and unity, reaching out to those in need, embracing those who may feel they've lost or been forgotten. Fill our hearts with gratitude for the moments we have shared today, for the prayers lifted, and for the songs that have brought us many memories. Let the echoes of our voices linger, carry the message of love and hope beyond the boundaries of our minds into the hearts of all that we meet. It's always within your name, Father and gracious Spirit. Amen.
Thank you very much, Phil. And Kath and Mitch, mwah. I love you guys. Carrie, I know you're behind the scenes, as is Darren as well. So our final song is 1,000 Years, very special to Carrie and Phil on their wedding day. Beautiful song. And of course, we love Carrie and Phil. Mwah. All right, my friends, we will see you next week, if not sooner. Don't forget, go visit Kath and Mitch this time on Tuesday at their Grief Cafe. WeDon'tDie.com. Click on the store page. Lots of love to all. See you soon. Bye.